Everyone, welcome back to Mumta Nawal tutorial. And guys, in this video we're going to start a new chapter number 12, and the name of the chapter is reproduction in plants. Okay, how our plants do the reproduction process, we will focus in this chapter. Okay, what is reproduction? It is the production of new individual. Whenever we produce a new individual from their parent body is known as a reproduction. Okay, the main process is that we will stick to it, like first of all, from the seed we grow that seed into the, or we can say that we can sow that seed in the soil, and that seed will grow into a plant, and that plant after maturation it will produce the seed again, and that seed will grow again to the another soil, and there we can find a new plant. So what is this? This is known as the reproduction. When we grow, when from one portion or one flower, or we can say one plant, we can grow another plant, is known as the reproduction. Okay, so in short we can say that new individual, if we are getting from a plant, we can say that it is the reproduction. Okay, reproduction can be done by some modes. Okay, so the modes of reproduction can be sexual mode or asexual mode. Okay, sexual reproduction or asexual reproduction. Before going into the depth, first of all you should understand what are the plant's body. Okay, so this is the plant body, these are the leaves, or we can say that this is the upper portion which is known as the shoot portion, and this is the lower portion, or the portion which is embedded in the soil, is known as the root portion. So these are these, if we talk about the leaves, stem and roots, so if we combine all these together, what we say, these are the reproductive part of a plant. This is the reproductive part. But if we say there is a flower also on our plant, so this flower is known as the reproductive part. Okay, for reproduction what we require reproductive part, but for sexual reproduction. Okay, so this is the reproductive part for sexual reproduction, but for asexual reproduction we can use our vegetative parts also, so that we can grow a new individual from the plant body. Okay, so this is the reproductive part is the flower. Okay, and what are the vegetative parts? They are known as the like roots, stems and leaves. They are the vegetative parts. Okay, so there are two type of reproduction. Now the mode of reproduction. What is the reproduction in plant? There are two type. One is the asexual mode of reproduction, another is the sexual mode of reproduction. When we talk about the asexual reproduction, that means the plant will grow without creating any seed into it. Okay, plant is growing without any seed, then we can say that it is asexual. When sexual, that means the plant will grow from the seed itself. If we are using a seed, that means it is a sexual reproduction we are taking. Asexual, there is no seed formation, and no plant will grow from the seed. Okay, what are the other sub features, or we can say the subcategory of asexual reproduction? Like first is the vegetative propagation. What is that mean? Vegetative propagation means that if a plant is growing, if a plant is getting out from the parent body without any seed formation, without any gamete fusion, then we can say that the vegetative propagation is going on. So mostly in this we require the vegetative part of our plant. What are the vegetative parts? These are the roots, stems, leaves or buds. In any of these, if we are getting a plant from any of this portion, then we can say that this is a vegetative propagation. For example, if we talk about a rose plant, so normally rose plant can grow by cutting process. Okay, so this is also a process in which, this is a rose plant, Okay, if you like this rose plant a lot, this is the rose, and you like it a lot, so what you can do to grow it in your home, you can cut the stem of this rose and grow it in your at your home. Okay, and bury the stem into the soil some of what, and then add some water to it. Normally how you grow your plant, similarly same process, nothing you need to do. After some time you will see that this plant will start developing roots from this stem portion, and this plant will grow into another individual. So we are getting from this portion, from this plant we are getting another plant without any fusion of gametes, without any fertilization, without any other process. We are just cutting that stem and buried that stem into the soil, and from there we are getting the new plant. This is known as the vegetative propagation, and the vegetative propagation is the cutting process. Okay, next is the through buds. Okay, and mainly from the axil buds. What are the axil? This is a plant. Okay, you must have seen, like on the top of the plant, on the axil portion, there are small leaves, bunch of small leaves. What are they? These are the buds portion. If you cut that bud portion and then grow it in the soil, here this can have the ability to grow into another plant. So this is also a type of asexual reproduction, or we can say that vegetative, because we are using the bud portion, which is the vegetative part of a plant. Next is the eyes of potato. Okay, whenever we see a potato, we see some kind of grooves into it, like this kind of structure is present on the potato. And what are these structure? If in the rainy days, you must have seen like some greenish portion is coming out from these nodes or these eyes. So what is this can grow into a new individual. Each of this can grow into a new plant. So this is the vegetative parts. So the eyes of potato is the vegetative parts from which the potato is getting fertilized, or potato is getting reproduced. Okay, next is the bryophyllum. What in the bryophyllum? Bryophyllum is a very good example of sprouting of leaf. Normally the leaf, the margin of the leaf, at the margin, this is the leaf of a bryophyllum, and on that margin what happen? Here the new plants start growing up. Okay, new leaves are starting taking place, they are getting up. Now this leaf will fall down on the soil, and on that soil these roots will come out from all these parts of the leaves. Okay, so this will grow into another plant, this will grow into another plant. So all these are like new plants are growing without any fertilization. So this is also an example how we can do vegetative propagation process, which is a asexual reproduction. Okay, similarly in the case of sweet potato, from where the sweet potato is getting? We are getting it from the roots, or we can say that the reproduction is from the root portion, which is also a vegetative portion. In case of cacti, if we taking an example of cacti, so this is a cacti, and they will grow another individual on itself. Okay, the plant is growing a new part on itself, and then they detach that part from their body, and two individual will form. So this is how normally cacti grow. So the cacti is also growing from the main body parts. Without the reproductive parts, they are growing into a new individual. And if we are growing into a or produce a new individual from the parent body, that is known as the reproduction. Okay, so we can say that the vegetative propagation require less time as compared to sexual reproduction. Can we say that? Yes, of course we can. How? The vegetative propagation always take less time, because in normally, if this is a seed, and that seed will grow into a plant, it takes some time to grow into a plant, and that plant will take some time to get mature so that they can start producing a flower into it. Now after the flowering portion, now what happen, they will wait for the fertilization, so pollination. They will wait that let anything will help them to pollinate that flower. Now after the pollination, they will wait for the fruit formation. So this is the fruit formation take place on that plant. Now what happened, after that fruit there will be seed inside that fruit, and that seed will help, or seed will require dispersion process, so that these seed will go to some other place, and there they will buried in the soil, and then they will come, there will be a plant will coming out from it. And this is what a new plant is growing from a very vast process. So the process is very long in case of sexual reproduction. But in vegetative propagation, what is happening, normally this is just a plant, and that plant, if we cut that stem of that plant, so this is the normal growing plant, we cut that stem and buried into the soil, and this plant is, they developed the root from that stem, and they this is another a plant, we have grown a new plant. And if we are growing a new plant, that is known as the reproduction. So this is a quite very less time, it require very less time to grow as well as to produce a new individual. Okay, but what is the problem, like they are exact copy of their parent. All the new plant whichever grow from the vegetative propagation are the exact copy of their parents. Okay, the parent is a single parent. Okay, so they do not have two parents, they are, there is only requirement of a single parent. Only one parent is capable of producing their offsprings. They do not require any gamete fusion in vegetative propagation. Now this is the process what is asexual reproduction. The asexual, the first part is the vegetative reproduction. Second is in the asexual, it can be from the budding process. Okay, for example like yeast. Okay, yeast, what is a yeast? Yeast is a single celled organism. Single cell organism, that means the all the function, all the metabolism can be done by a single cell, and that cell is known as the yeast. Okay, so that is the organism is known as the yeast, and which is consists of a single cell, and from that single cell it can do each and every function of their body. So what happen, the yeast will grow very fast if if you provide a sufficient nutrient to the yeast, they will grow very fast, like in every hour they will divide, or they will multiply their population. Okay, so what happen, normally this is a yeast cell, so we are taking it as a yeast cell. How it reproduce, it will develop like this kind of buds, it will develop, and this is the nucleus portion, or we can say genetic material portion. Okay, and this one, this portion, this is the prime this is the parent body, and this is the buds. So this is the developing bud. Okay, here the bud is developing. Now this will become a bud, a clear bud. So this is the parent body, and this is the new bud, and similarly a chain of buds will grow. So similarly after some time you will see that there will be a chain of buds on that parent body, and whenever they are mature they will detach from the body, and they will grow into an individual, a new yeast. Okay, so bud are the, what are the buds? What are the buds? Buds are the small bulb like projection. Okay, bulb like projection, as you can see in the figure, this is the buds, this is the buds, which is the bulb like projection which coming out from the yeast cells is known as the bud. Okay, so whenever they require to grow, they will detach from the parent body, and they form a new individual. This is how the budding process take place. Now the third process of reproduction or asexual reproduction is the fragmentation. Fragmentation. Okay, what is this? If a body, if there is a individual or parent body, this is a body of a Spirogyra. Okay, so this will fragment into two portion. If they cut into in two portion, what happened, this is the first portion and this is the second portion. This is how they fragmented, and this will grow into one individual, this is grow into the another individual. So after the fertilization they do not die, because of the fertilization they grow into two new individuals. So the examples of the fragmentation is the algae. Algae are the very good example. From where you can see algae, normally you must have seen like in the pond or any stagnant water, the place where the water is not moving, it is stopped for very long time, that is known as the stagnant water. And in that portion you have seen like some green patches is coming over the water, or traveling, or you can say they're floating over that water. That green patches is the algae. Okay, so this is the algae, which whenever whatever the nutrient water available in that water, they will grow and develop very rapidly. So they multiply very rapidly till the time they will getting all the nutrient from the water body. Okay, now what are the example for it? How we can say that? The main example is the Spirogyra, which is an example, or which is a type of algae. Okay, so whenever they fragment, they get fragmented from their body. This is the body, main body, and they get fragmented from the middle portion, and now in two fragments they are divided, and those both fragments will develop into a two new individuals. So this is how the fragmentation take place, which is also an example of asexual reproduction. The last type of asexual reproduction is the spore formation. Okay, how the fungus will develop or can produce their new progeny, how they can do from the process of spore formation. Okay, so the main example is the fungi. Like mostly if you have seen, like this is the bread, if you keep a bread outside in the rainy days, what you see after 2 to 3 days, you will see like there is some blackish or greenish kind of substance or patches on that bread, and what you say that this is the bread has got fungi, they born some fungi on it. So what is this? What is the fungi? How they are growing? They are growing from the spores, which is always present in the air. Spores are present always in the air, but they are protected with a coating. Okay, so there is an hard protective coating over these spores, so that if the condition is not favorable for that spores, so they will not germinate. Okay, so in unfavorable condition, condition, that condition which is not good for them to grow, so in that condition they will develop a hard protective covering to it. After that, if they are getting proper temperature or humidity, okay, which is known as the favorable condition, when they get proper temperature and humidity, then this is the condition which is the favorable condition for that fungi, that in the favorable condition they will start germinating or they will start growing up. Okay, so this is how normally our fungi will grow, and this is known as the process is known as the spore formation. The examples are, there are some plants like mosses and ferns also, which require which do asexual reproduction, which is the spore formation process for growing a new individual. Okay, now we will focus about the sexual reproduction. This is all about the asexual reproduction, and now we will talk about the sexual reproduction process in the plant, how the sexual reproduction process will perform. Mostly what it require the reproductive part. This is the main important part. What are the reproductive part? That the flower is the reproductive part of the plant. And what a flower consists? It consists of a stamen as well as the pistil. Okay, these are the two portion. What is the stamen? It is the male reproductive part, and what is the pistil? It is the female reproductive part. Okay, what a stamen consists of? It consists of two portion, which is the anther and other is the filament. Okay, and what a female consists of? Female, or we can say that pistil is consist of, which is the stigma, style and ovary. If we combine all these three together, they will form a pistil, which is a female reproductive portion, and if we combine the anther and filament, that will form a stamen, which is a male reproductive organ. Whenever we require for the fertilization, we require these two gametes, the gametes which is coming from the anther and the gametes which is present in the ovary. Both of them need to be fused together to form a zygote, that is known as the fertilization. Okay, so mostly what happen, our flower are of two types. One is the unisexual flowers. Okay, what are the unisexual flowers? The flowers which contain either pistil, okay, or the stamen only. Either of them, they consist or they have only otherwise it is pistil or otherwise it is stamen. Only one part, only the female part or the male part is present in the flower. That flower is known as the unisexual flower. For example, in case of corn, in case of papaya, or in case of cucumber, their flowers are of unisexual type. Okay, so they contain only pistil portion or only stamen portion. What are normally other flowers? They are bisexual flowers. What do you mean by bisexual flower? That means they have both the sexes are present in the flower, that is bisexual flowers. Okay, that means they contain the stamen, which is the male portion, as well as the pistil, which is the female reproductive portion on the same plant or same flower. Okay, the examples are the mustard. Okay, and another example is rose. Mustard and rose are the best example for bisexual reproduction, and we have many other examples also, very common. Bisexual flowers are very common. Okay, if we talk about the anther, this is the anther portion. Okay, from where the pollen grain formation take place, and this is the filament. This is the tube-like structure which combine the anther with the flower. Okay, so this is what anther is, the portion where the pollen grain will form. So this is the combined form, the anther as well as filament. If we combine both the structure, they will form the stamen, which is the male reproductive organ. If we talk about the female, so this is the stigma, this is the style, and this is the ovary portion. Okay, so this is the stigma portion where the pollen grain will land. This is the style where the pollen tube will form, and this is the ovary where the ovule will form. So inside the ovary there is ovules which form the seed. Okay, which form the future seed. Okay, so this is, if we combine the stigma, style and ovary combined together, they will form the pistil, which we are calling it as a female reproductive part. Okay, for the fusion, what we require the pollen grain which is formed by the anther, and that pollen grain will go from here, from the anther to the stigma. So this is what we require for fertilization. For this process, what we require is the pollination. This is the process known as the pollination. Normally our pollen grain have a very tough protecting covering over it, so that it cannot get dried up if there is not a favorable condition. So pollen grain always have a protective covering on it. What is the protective covering? It is made up of very hard substance, so that it cannot be able to penetrate by any other means. Okay, so that our pollen grain will be protected. And our pollen grains are very light in weight. Because of that light weight, it can travel through the wind, through the water, or through the insect. Okay, anyone can able to carry it because they are very light in weight. Okay, And the transport of, whenever the transfer of pollen, okay, the pollen grain is transferred from the anther to the stigma portion of a female flower or stigma portion of the flower, that is known as the pollination. What is this? Is the process which is known as the pollination. When a pollen grain from the anther will go to the stigma portion, they combine or land on the stigma portion, is known as, this process is known as the pollination. The pollination can be of two types. One is the self pollination. Okay, self pollination, what that mean? That means a plant or a flower which contain both gametes. This is the female gamete, okay, this is the female structure, and this is the male structure. So if this pollen grain of the same flower is getting on the stigma of the same flower, that means it is the self pollination. Okay, so we are using same flower and same plant. Okay, so that is known as the self pollination. As well as if this is a plant where there are two flowers. Okay, here are the two flowers. This is the first flower and this is the second flower. If this pollen grain of this flower is getting on the stigma of this flower, this is also known as the self pollination, because the plant is same. If we are talking it in the same plant, that means it is a self pollination. Cross pollination means if we are taking the pollen grain from one plant to another plant. So this is the one plant, okay, the pollen grain from this plant to the pollen grain of the another plant, then it is known as the cross pollination. So here is the flower, this is the flower, and this is the another flower. So here the pollen grain from plant 1 to plant 2, it is getting on there. So the pollination, if the pollen grain from one plant to another plant, if getting it to the stigma of another plant, it is known as the cross pollination. Okay, so next is the what is fertilization. What is after the pollination we require fertilization. And what is fertilization? The fusion of gametes, the fusion of the pollen grain, which is the male gamete, and the ovule, which is the female gamete. So both the fusion will result in the zygote, which is known as the fertilization. So the process of formation of zygote is known as the fertilization process. Okay, from where the fusion of male and female gametes, we are getting the zygote, and this zygote will develop and form the embryo in the future, and that embryo will grow into the fruit as well as the seed. They will form the fruit and seed on the plant. What is from where the fruit is getting? We are getting fruit from the ovary portion, and from where we are getting the seed? We are getting seed from the ovule portion. Okay, so female reproductive organ which have the ovary, that ovary will form the fruit in the future, and the ovule will form the seed in the future. Now what happened after the fertilization? What we require after fertilization? We require seed dispersal process. What is that? If we are taking a seed from one place to another place and there we are growing that plant, that means this is the seed dispersion. The transfer of seed from one place to another is known as the seed dispersion, which is very important. So sometime you must have seen, like sometime if you go to a field or any forest, you see that in the lower portion or in the pants, you see like some of the seeds are stick to your pants or your clothes. What is this? This is the process of seed dispersal which mostly the plants are adapted to do. So why we require, if this is a plant and there are fruit on this plant, and that fruit will burst and they will form the seed, and that seed will grow here the another plant. Okay, the same plant will growing all over near that plant. So what happened, what's wrong in it, why we require the dispersal, why we require that this seed will go to the another place and there we will require to grow that plant, why it is necessary? Because if it will grow in the same area, it will produce severe competition between them. Okay, so what kind of a severe competition, or what kind of a competition? Like competition for light, the sunlight which we are getting, the water, the minerals and the space. Okay, the space which that plant requires. So all these things they require to compete with their own progeny to survive in that area. So to remove all these competition, what we require to take that seed from one place to another, and there we can grow another progeny that will good for the plant health also. Whenever if we are getting from the same plant or same area, because they are do not getting proper nutrient, they are not getting proper water, because there will be some plants which are mature enough to get all the water and minerals whatever they require, but there will be some plants which are not much capable to absorb all those things, so they will have the nutrition lackness in their body, and that why they will form a not good kind of seed. Okay, so that seed will also not healthy plant. Okay, so that plant will also not healthy, that is not good for that plant species. So to get a healthy plant we require to take that seed from one place to another for the dispersion process. How the dispersal will be helped? The seed is the winged seed. In some species we can see the seed are the winged seed. Okay, like in the drumstick, example, or maple is also an example. Here the seeds are winged, they can fly with the air current, and from one place to another they can go. Sometimes our seeds are very light, that's why because of that light weight they can travel from one place to another. Sometimes some of the seeds are hairy seed, and because of that hairy portion they can easily travel from one place to another. In some example, like in the sunflower, if we are talking sunflower, what happened here is the hairy fruit. The fruit is kind of a hairy, and that fruit can travel with the help of the air or with the help of any animal from one place to another place. Okay, so mostly what they are blown off with the help of winds. Okay, blown off with the winds, and they from one place to another they can go. What are the other process? From water also we can do dispersal process. The aquatic plants also do dispersal, which is known as the dispersal by water. Okay, so there the seeds will float on the surface of the water, or through the water current they can travel from one place to another place. So this is how the dispersal take place in the water case. Another is the animal is also an agent for the dispersal from one place to another. Like normally, this is the animal, and this is traveling from the forest portion, and those animals, those seeds of the plant have some kind of spiny seeds. Okay, what they are known as the spiny seeds, and because of that spine they will stick to the hair of that animal, and the animal will move from one place to another, and from there they can rub that portion to take it out, and the seed will grow into that area or fall into that area, and they can grow into a new plant, into a new area. So this is also a way how the dispersal of the seed can take place. Okay, sometime what happen normally, there is a fruit, and that fruit will burst into when it get mature, they will burst, and all these seeds will get into the air, and that seed will go and disperse from one place to another and grow into the another plant, which is known as the fertilization, or we can say that the germination process. Okay, so these seeds will go to the soil, and here the germination process will take place and new plant will grow. So the process from where the normal plant is growing and that plant is producing a flower, which is the reproductive part, and from there they are getting a new plant, is known as the sexual reproduction. If we are getting the new plant from the any vegetative part, which is leaf, stem or root, so we are known as the asexual reproduction, which is vegetative propagation. Okay, or asexual reproduction also have some basic categories like budding or cutting, or we can say that through the fragmentation. There are some other examples also in the asexual reproduction. So as a summary, we can say that in plant reproduction there are two mode of reproduction. One is the asexual and one is the sexual reproduction. So this is all in this chapter. I hope you have understand all those concepts. If you still have any doubt, please ask me in the comment box, and if you like my video, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe my channel, and thank you guys for watching this video.